continue our review. Now let's take a look at some agreement exercises. This one deals with both subject-verb as well as pronoun antecedent. So remember that number have to agree with subject-verb as well as pronoun antecedent. You have to be really careful with these. A lot of people make some errors here. So the first one, the speaker associates hard work with the smell of apples, which are making him sleepy. Okay, so here we have the pronoun which is a relative pronoun. We have to find the antecedent. Remember what an antecedent is? That's the word that the pronoun is referring to or pointing to. So what is making him sleepy? It's not the apples, but what? The smell of apples. Now, smell is singular. You wouldn't say the smell are, but what? The smell is. The smell is making him sleepy. Stem end and blossom end, and every fleck of russet showing clear shows imagery by using a detailed description of the apples. In fact, the ends of the apple in reddish-brown color is described. What do we see going on here? We open up with a quote as the subject. We treat that as singular, right? It's just one quote. Shows a singular imagery by using a detailed description of the apples. In fact, the ends of the apple in reddish-brown color is described. You see it? Here we have a prepositional phrase. What's the subject? Ends. And ends is plural. Whoops. You wouldn't say the ends is, if the ends are. The last stanza basically describes how he, there's our subject, worship her. That's an easy one, how he worships. That one's easy. Have you left white space at the margins of each page? And have you left sufficient space between each line? Is the act of a person reviewing the story of their life, like a writer proofreads his or her text? So this is a pronoun error. Here we have person. That's just one person. Okay. Here, his or her, right? So person is singular, his or her is singular. Whoops. But guess what? There is plural. So we have to make sure that we get things in line. Is the act of a person reviewing the story of his or her life. Got to be careful there. These lines show irony in the fact that people, rich or poor, are still human, and the value of money is not associated with the value of a person. Okay? These lines show irony in the fact that people, rich or poor, are still human, and the value of money is not associated with the value of a person. How does that sound? I agree. Everything's good. Everything's good. Most of the irony in this poem are in the last few lines of the closing stanza. Starting to hear it now? Yeah. Is, right? You wouldn't say irony are, but irony is. In the play The Glass Menagerie and the short story The Chrysanthemums, the portrayal of women are very similar. Yep. You might be saying, well, women is plural, it's women are. Yeah, but that's an imperfect phrase. The subject is portrayal and portrayal is. When Aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie still ringed with ordeal she was mastered by. Suggests that she was confined by her role as a wife and a woman. Remember, if you're using a quote as subject, that's considered singular. And singular verbs end in S, suggests. In the short story A and P, Sammy, the main character, admired the young women who came into the store. She just walked straight on slowly on these long white prima donna legs. Yeah, Sammy is just one person. Sammy admires the young women. Henry quickly says, well, it sure works with flowers. This brief exchange of words is an indication that Eliza wants more, but Henry will not allow it. Eliza wants. Excellent. So please remember to check for agreement errors as well as the sentence structure errors that we worked with in the last lecture. All right, everybody. So until we have a chance to see each other again, be well, do good work, and keep in touch.